Hello, YouTube gamers. This is Aero from Mobile Games, bringing more Clash Royale. I have been basically playing around with a couple of different decks. Deck shuffle has definitely been the theme since the post patch. I am finding that I find Mini Pika and Dark Prince and Hog Rider seem to be consistent. I don't think I've ever gotten rid of Spear Goblins since I started using them, so that almost kind of goes without saying. Um, my thumbnail image is my dedication to my spear goblins. They have gigantic guns. They throw spear guns. They're beautiful. I love them all around. And honestly, I had a witch in there for a while, but I'm gonna go with 3 spells today. And basically for anti-air and just general pushing capacity, I'm going to go with musketeer. It's a little bit different from what I normally do, but honestly not a lot different. It seems unreasonable for me to have 3 different spells. I'm a wizard Harry, etc. Like, I'm just going a little bit crazy, but at least the way I see it, the basically Mini Pika and Freeze together is pretty much better than most defensive structures for dealing with the things that need defensive structures. Yeah, that's 8 elixir. I'm not pretending that's not expensive. But between Freeze and Zap, honestly, I have a lot of control in the deck, and I like it. And we're at 25:30, only about halfway through Royal Arena. Eventually I'll get through this, but probably not today. I've gone as high as, let's see here, 1708. But I certainly haven't hit Legendary yet. It would be nice. But I have no idea how long it'll take. I'll probably have to level up some more cards, maybe work on my strategy, maybe just try harder. It's hard to say, honestly, what would get me up there. Yeah, I don't know. Probably just time and getting as many crown chests and etc. as possible. So we'll get to it, have some fun. The thing that I've noticed that I've started doing is throwing early spear goblins. It basically is to poke them. It gets probably 200-300 health off of a tower if it's uncontested, which honestly does happen. We're going to throw a musketeer because once again musketeer is cheap. I've got almost nothing but spells in my deck at this point, which seems quote unquote risky against something like a Royal Giant. We'll see if the musketeer locks on. It does not. And then we're going to throw poison right about there because I don't want to even have to deal with that. And this is what I was talking about. You freeze it and then you Pika it. Cool, they throw Fireball, it doesn't even kill the Mini Pika. Throw Goblins for basically shielding, but also to help clean up. If that Mini Pika gets to a tower, we win, basically. It's not quite as strong as Hog Rider, as far as the ability to get to those towers and really take them out, but at the same time, it does a lot more damage if it does manage to get there, so, you know, you can't have it both ways. And then all of this is basically opened up for easy Hog Rides. They throw Elixir. This is definitely not the time to basically hold off. They're trying to basically get themselves into a situation where they can basically push down something with a big combo. They said thanks. I'm, in my honest opinion, thinking that was just BS. That was just rhetoric. What they want to do is basically push us away so that we don't attack their base, because they've got some sort of like big nasty combo. Right now I'm killing their elixir pump because I'm tired of those. Probably too much pushed off that way, so we're going to have to do something about that right now. PEKKA's going to take care of that. We can zap the witch, and we'll see what we get out of this. Goblins, again, would probably be a really solid choice. We'll throw a musketeer. Obviously, they've evened it up. What we really need to do is capitalize on this next phase right here, because honestly, this is about it. They can get onto our tower, we can get onto theirs. This really just comes down to who's going to get it. And then, because of that, let's see what we got here. We can throw a Dark Prince down that aisle. The basic gist of this is we want to get as much of this done as possible. As soon as he gets into our side, we're going to freeze him again. And then we're just going to throw poison on everything. And then Goblins down the side road. Because I'm pretty sure with what I got, I've already gotten this taken care of. Nope, we're just going to stall out. They want to play defensive now, etc. We'll see what we get. It could be good. It could be worth it. That freeze was poorly played. The only thing we can do is basically try to get in their support, distract, etc. It was not enough. We are basically down a mini pack. We have to cycle most of our deck to even get close to it, so we're going to have to try really hard to get around to that. Mini pack going down. Zap going down to basically get him on target, if you will. Goblins could have been pushed a little bit further towards their base just so that the mini pack would have had more of a shield for themselves. And let's see here. If we go with poison, it's not going to be enough. But yeah, they seem to think that my side of the screen is their side of the screen, which is really unfortunate for them. Because it's great and all that they're getting in here with these like little shots, but they're just not going to get it. That's kind of the whole point of it. And they resign themselves to throw basically defensive structures in the way. This is kind of the reason why I like what I've got. I don't have to save any one of my spells for what they're primarily used for. I can rotate through and use them in a situation I think is good. If I hadn't blown a freeze in there, I probably would have done really well. And then, while we did get a draw there, at least we got some chests for our crown chests. Crown chests are honestly really good as of lately. With the changes they did to the patch, I would hope everybody's kind of going out there and trying to get themselves as many daily chests as they can. We'll probably get 4 or 5 spears total off of this, and then that'll be it. And then they're throwing Goblin Hut. Oh, that was Zap. That was not Musketeer. Well, that's already some misplay, so good job, B. Spawners aren't really the sort of thing that you want to misplay against either, just because they require so much effort to actually push them off. So we'll see how bad that turns out for me. I'm going to poison, because that's honestly what I do like half the time with spawners. And as soon as that wears down, we have enough to do at least Hog Rider, if not some other jazz on it. And so they decided to continue going with it. Their spawner, so we know it's basically going to be a spawner deck. This was a nice place to have a witch. That is one of my regrets with eliminating witch from my my arsenal. And then we can get rid of enough of that we might even get some positive push going. If not, we're just going to keep poisoning them. It's my favorite part about poison is that literally you get a spawner deck and that's what you do to them. That's misplay. I had my thumb over top of where basically the Hog Rider is. So we're going to take massive damage for this. It's not going to be worth it. It's basically my own fault for doing this. And now since they've taken the first one, they want my second tower. Makes sense. What we're going to do is basically try to run in there as hard as we can. Black Third Prince will definitely get to the spawner unit, which is nice. Musketeer's been just attacking this entire time. And same tactics as before. Basically that goes down. We throw a hog out. We have freeze. I don't think I want to freeze here. I think I just want to try to get rid of as much of that as possible. And then we're going to see what we can do on their side of the board, basically. See if we can get them to focus pressure not on that side, since they put so much effort there. Honestly, like that's the reason why I'm doing this. Is hey, what can we get out of this? We'll throw some poison down. We'll zap that. With spear goblins, we'll get a little bit more. But as of right now, it looks like we're just kind of stalling out. It's unfortunate. They don't have a focused offense though, which is honestly one of the bigger problems with dealing with spawners. Is you have to deal with the fact that they can have a focused offense. And it's not going to really matter. I don't have enough time to kill all of that in order to win. That was mostly misplay on my side. I shouldn't have given them the towers that I gave them earlier, but whatever. Is what it is. But yeah. And yeah, I do like poison that much. Got comments coming in. Oh yeah, absolutely. Deck is new. I've been shuffling around, so hopefully you guys like what I'm doing. I've never actually played with 3 spells before, so it'll be interesting to see how this all works out. I played a little bit before I got on, but it's pretty much untested, and I'm pretty okay with that. Okay, if they're gonna, that's unfortunate. So they've got their elixir down. About the only thing I can do at this point that makes any sense, because all I'm going to do is throw units over there, and they're going to counter with other units, and they're going to continue getting their elixir. At least I get to attack their elixir by throwing poison like that. So they're going to have something nasty coming down the pipes on the left hand side. We've got a Dark Prince, and then we can do both Musketeers and Goblins for support. I think that's what we'll do. And then, come on, spell. But yeah, I don't know. That's how I deal with Hog Riders now. I know I hear a lot of people that are complaining about Hog Rider plus freeze and stuff like that, but I'm like, you should use Zap. That's about it. Zap in like a Musketeer or a equally leveled pack, they'll just murder them like super hard. And then I also keep freeze, things like that, just in case I need them. Probably don't need freeze for this deck. It's just sometimes, playing against without freeze gets frustrating, and I hate that. And then, once again, could have frozen all of this. I'll go with poison instead. By poisoning barbarians, a pack gets through most of them before it dies. It's kind of interesting. Once again, damage. We got damage on the tower. We're doing pretty okay. Not amazing, not great, but hey, we'll take it. Hopefully they can't freeze all of this, and then we can zap again. And then all of those, majority of the units, there's one of those goblins that's sitting there. Unfortunately, he's getting his damage in. That's what we're trying to avoid, is basically killing all of the accompanying units from a Hog Rider. Because most Hog Riders have friends. I mean, that's just how they are. And then we'll go for this again. Dark Prince for basically backup. And then we're going to poison their entire section of the field. Surprising! Goblins there for support. They're cheaters. I like them. Get my guns out, etc. Zap on that. That way we'll get some tower damage by basically spelling through all of that. They put down freeze. Congratulations, that's a use of 4 elixir. I'm totally cool with that use. That's not going to hurt my feelings too hard. We throw Hog Rider now, he'll start getting out there and getting it done. Poison again. Oh look, we got more damage on the towers. We'll throw basically goblins, they can take care of all that garbage. And then all we really have to do is get like a solid push in here. This is honestly what the freeze is for. And then the other thing I can do, and I've just basically decided that I'm not going to do it, is throw poison and then... okay, so there's that, there's this. And poison, and as soon as I have the idea that it's going to go through, we're just going to zap, because that'll do enough damage to take their tower. The end. I wouldn't do that without overtime going on. That's only 270 damage, or 268, I think. So I'm not saying that's risky tactics. I'm just saying that, knowing how to finish a game is important. And, it's important to know your spell damage if you want to finish a game properly. Toss that one. And... okay, and then, yeah, somebody asked, do I like poison? Yeah, I love poison. Poison is my answer to people going, I'm going to throw my elixir pump on my side of the field, or like my defensive structures that are getting in your way. And I go, that's cool, they should die in poison. And then that way, if they try to protect them with things like barbarians, they all die. The attack speed slow makes it so that mini Pekka is really strong going into a poison field. That's why I like it so much. It's not inherent synergy, it's just the simple fact that when barbarians have longer time to wind up, like, the Pekka gets first strike every time on them, and Pekka getting a first strike on things is good, because Pekka hits hard. Let's see here. Yeah, so anyway. Dip Y2J is great. Okay, there you go. Uh, uh, uh. But anyway, yeah, this deck does seem so risky. Literally, like 3 spells. Like I'm literally playing to get better at playing with spells. These are the 3 spells I play with most often now. Zap is very much a new addition, but I've found that it's a beautiful spell. Post patch, honestly, for being only 2 elixir, it sometimes is more effective than either poison or freeze in the right case, just because it costs so little. It just it's basically trying to not spend too much on spells, if that makes sense. But yeah, actually, what are my numbers for this? Zap is, yeah, it is 68, and then poison will do on towers. It'll do 200 total. So if 268 is not the number, we're not going to try to spell rotate down a building, mind you. Like 200 over 10 seconds, which is what poison does. That's not exactly fast either. So once again, you have to know exactly how long you got to go. Wow, look at how fast that was. Kathunk, poison. And then we're going to throw this and that. Oh, look, Barbarian's thrown on top of it. I've never seen that before. Anyway, I get a little bit cranky. There's so much Barbarian and so much Valkyrie play right now that it just gets tiring for me personally, because, you throw some stuff across the bridge and all you see is people drop basically Barbarians on it. It's a good strategy. I'm not saying it's a bad strategy. I think it's a good strategy. It's just, as I said, I'm tired of it. And so, what I threw right there probably should have only thrown some of it. If I had just thrown the mini, or if I just thrown the spears, probably would have gotten away with it. They want to throw spawner deck behind their tower. I can throw a Hog Rider on there. Who would have thought? They have a defensive unit because they're playing spawner decks. Shocker. Man, I wonder why I like poison so much. Not a hard... Ooh. How much of this can I get? I'd rather kill that. But yeah, I don't know. Do I overuse poison? Sure, why not? But do people overuse elixir pumps and spawners? Absolutely. Is this the easiest counter ever? Yeah, it is. Most of those goblins aren't going to get through. That's really the whole point of this. You want to basically build up a whole bunch of stuff. I could throw arrows at the right time, or I could just throw a poison field right now and say, I don't like you guys. I hope you're not even here to begin with. So it's a difference in strategy. It's the way I play, as I said. I think poison's its utility is worth it. I personally think it really is worth it to keep poison over just about any other 4-cost spell. The reason I threw freeze back in is because sometimes you need freeze to break through. Hog Rider and Peak, they just deal really well by doing that. And then, the spawner is literally losing this tower to me. Because it won't stop throwing all of its stuff near its towers. Congratulations, I'll poison your entire field. I've got no problem doing that. And then, I'm not throwing too much in because I know they use Barbarians. Without, a good setup, I don't want Barbarians dropped on top of me. It doesn't make any sense to just throw away Elixir, basically. Not to me, at least. And then, we'll throw Musketeer early, and then... The truth is, honestly, I don't even need to throw the poison on that last one. I just need to throw Zap on it. And they're going to get it, hopefully, in enough time that they regret it. Oh, look, there's one left. Can they get that? Of course they can get that. But they didn't. Know your spell damage. It's important. It's the difference between winning and losing a lot of time. Especially when you play as many spells as I do. Which is apparently 3, and does seem like a lot, but hey, I like it. I'm noticing that spells are nice for basically their control element. The one thing I don't like about some units is you have to wait for them to get to the other side. That's the reason why the Minor Legendary got really attractive. I've seen it played a couple of times, and quite honestly, I don't think it's very fair. And that's because it's so good, just like spells are. So anyway. Oh, you are also great. Thank you, Dip Y2J. And then, so I've got Akak telling me that they stopped playing barbs just because they always get fireballed. I do notice fireballs in there a lot. Fireball also really messes up a couple of things that I play with. The witch that I was really liking. If you take out the witch, like you actually play with fireball, I noticed that those decks would have no problem dealing with my shenanigans. And quite honestly, when that happens, it's there's no point in playing the witch because witch costs 5, fireball costs 4, and if you effectively render all of its spawns and stuff like that null and void, like I don't know. Basically, a witch helps you clump up, and a fireball basically busts it out. And so, if you have a good fireball, you're going to lose to that deck. Yeah. Anyway. And we'll see what we get out of this. No, we're not going to throw any of that. As much as it's nice to throw freeze, I don't have anything in my deck that I want to counter basically barbarians with. I'm not willing to throw that out. Unlike spear goblins, which I am totally willing to throw out, we're going to have a little bit of a split. If I throw a dark prince in front of it, there's at least some possibility that I'll get something. Bomb tower, haven't seen as many of those lately. Kind of happy about that, quite honestly. They're annoying. They last less than they used to, which is pretty okay. Freeze once again. It's gonna do a fair job of taking care of that. He apparently thinks that is funny. He's probably got a freeze as well. Doesn't even have a freeze. Zap paired with mini Pekka. We'll see what we get. I don't even like you guys. There. Mini Pekka took out 2 barbarians instead of 1. They're a little bit softened up for my barbs, or for my spear gobs. So, you know, that so long as you're using your spells well, I feel like having at least more than just the 1 or 2 spells that are usually in a deck can be fine. I don't honestly know if everybody could play this way, but that's okay. Spells really do require, at least what I consider, a little bit more presence of mind. If you don't execute them well, they're terrible. So there's Fireball. We gotta throw... Oh, I see. Okay, so this is the best strategy I've seen in a while. Because let's face it, some people deal with Royal Giant just by throwing things like just a couple of gobs at it and things like that. So if they were willing to do that, then I don't know. That is the least crappy use of Bomb Tower I think I've ever seen. Usually Bomb Tower is super lame. Like, that's just my opinion. It's super lame. Cool. So, as much as I didn't honestly want them to throw barbs, because they did that, I'm going to have no problem with the 1-2 with their Giant. Royal Giant really only gets super attractive when you have, like, a big build-up with it. This will do exactly what I want. We're going to zap all this because I was really hoping to save my Dark Prince. I didn't. Musketeer and Spear Gobs on the left-hand side. We don't want to lose too much of that tower. We haven't honestly done very well against this tower, though, is the problem. So as much as this doesn't look that bad, they should probably pull this out with another Royal Giant, because I can't kill a Royal Giant that fast. I can, however, freeze it, and mini Pekka it, and then, zap it. Ooh, I didn't even need the zap. That's too bad. So the reason why I threw the zap there is he was only going to need 1. Nope, didn't freeze in time. Oh my god, I'm still in this. That's amazing. Well, I'm not actually still in it. Well played. Good luck. Yeah, no, that was actually pretty solid. Yeah, I like that Bomb Tower. That Bomb Tower played behind a Royal Giant. If you are a Royal Giant player, that might be a thing you might want to think about. I'm not saying that it's the best idea, but my god, that cleared out crap like crazy. Wow. Just wow. Start with our Spear Goblins. Pretty typical. Totally worth it. And I'm not saying that, like, it's the most fuel or elixir efficient push ever, but or counter to Hog Rider ever, but there's lots of ways that Hog Riders can get around that. So that's kind of the reason why I like what I'm doing with it. If we throw Peck here, Dark Prince is probably gonna give him a push. We'll throw some Seer Goblins behind for support. While this shenanigans is going down, no, we don't have it. If we had Zap, we probably could have zapped all those and I wouldn't have worried too hard. We're going to throw this. Nothing better than Freeze. And Musketeer, please help me out. And then, yeah, it was worth it. And then they'll probably throw Skeletons again. It's not surprising. Their Skeleton usage is pretty good. They're significantly cheaper than Barbs. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so we'll throw Peck, we'll throw Gobs. That wasn't good timing. I could have thrown that faster. By throwing Zap, we're going to get all of these down with basically 4 elixir. And... Really? Really, Gobs? You're seriously gonna just, like, run off like that? You little betrayers. Anyway. Overall, we're doing fine. They're a little bit ahead of us on the left-hand side. We have some damage on the right-hand side if that's the way it's gonna go. This feels like they're gonna go for a wind-up. We have also the ability to wind up. Okay, so... I'm going to throw down Poison, because that means I know I'm going to get as much out of this as I can. One hit. That's it. That's all I get. Then we will take that freeze. And then probably can poison this out. It'll be probably work. Oh, come on. So this is coming down to the nitty-gritty. I'm sure they'll have a cannon up in time in order to deal with my Hog Rider. It's unfortunate. They have a low-cost deck, but... And Musketeer literally goes out there so that I have time to stall for Zap. Didn't make it in time. If I had something better in my hand, probably could have thrown it. It's what it is. Writing on the wall, we can take it. But yeah, I blame all of that on my betrayer goblins. All they had to do was stick around. Okay, so they're going to give us basically a build-up. Oh, this deck. So I've seen this at least once before. They basically cause a ruckus with their Royal Giant, and then they clean up with their basically their Giant, or with their Skeleton Giant. It's not a bad strategy. I don't dislike this entirely. I cannot remember if I won or lost against that, so to be quite honest, we'll find out if this works out well. So far, it's working out well for me. I've got no complaints on this. Let's just poison spawner decks, because I hate you. And then, I mean, they can clearly have something at this point. Dark Prince isn't a bad choice. My rebuttal for that will be Mini Peck, but oh wait, there's more. And then we're going to zap the crap out of this. We got spells for days, we should probably use them. Nah. So, we can absolutely poison this. I'm just trying to get slightly more motivation out of using it. That's enough. And then, while that seems excessive, him having a lot less HP makes him a lot easier to deal with. And then all you do is put things behind him. So, I may have used a giant skeleton for a really long time, so I don't know. To me, it's pretty obvious where their problems are. I don't know. Screw it. I just need something on that right lane. So, obviously, we're one up on them. That's nice. And then we'll throw Spear Goblins here. That should basically finish him off. And then this from behind. Screw it. We'll just freeze him. And then, yeah, I totally get that there's like all sorts of junk on my right-hand side, but whatever. Game over. We win the match. Take one, sit on it. It's honestly harder to defend without spells for me. I think defensive structures are terrible at this point. They've done a very good job of nerfing them directly to the ground. I don't have any complaints. If you want to use a defensive structure, by all means. But I don't want to. I never wanted to begin with, and I just picked them up because I realized how difficult it was to deal with certain things like giants and basically hog riders. But at this point, I'm more comfortable just killing them. Yeah, you take some damage to your towers, but it takes time for those to basically wind up. When you get something like a hog cycle deck, where basically they're playing nothing but really low units except for hog rider, yeah, it gets really unattractive. But the funny thing is, with my deck, you just pressure hog decks, and they can't defend against basically a Dark Prince with some other stuff behind it, because he wipes those out. Anyway, just a little side caveat. I'll take my victories where I can get them. I'm not pretending I win 100% of the time. I just like consistency and try to basically play better, and this deck is definitely helping me do that. So, as I said, if nothing else, it's practice for how you get your spells to work right. Oh my god, gob on gob action. So much genocide. Many goblins were killed this day. And then we lost a little bit there. And if I had thrown those in opposite, it would have been slightly more efficient. But honestly, I was pressured. I mean, no, I did great. I was pressured, is what it is. And man, at this point, if I had been able to get freeze out on, or if I had been able to get poison out on that, that would have been super gross. I like freeze. I don't use it nearly enough, but I still acknowledge what it's good for, and quite honestly, if you don't use it, that's perfectly fine, but, you know, I like it. I wish I could use it offensively more, but offense with freeze has a tendency to get very risky. So I want to see something that's looking really good before I want to use it. Plus, having the elixir on hand to use it exactly when it would be good, that's honestly the trick on freeze. And I mean, heck, if we're going to wait around, I'm going to poison their deck. Oh, God. Okay, so this plus that plus this plus that. The only thing that I'm definitely noticing is with a spell deck, I wish my fingers were transparent so I could see the entire deck, or the entire board while I was basically targeting and things like that. It gets a little bit murky and questionable sometimes. Oh, get out there, Spear Gobs. He could use an escort. Toss poison on top of this. It'll work out. definitely in front of me as far as tower damage goes. We're going to freeze this. If they were facing different directions, this would have worked out way better. I'm going to take major blowback for this. It's going to stink. It's unfortunate. I do think that Prince is still one of the hardest units to deal with, especially after the fact. I would personally play him if I wasn't so bad with Prince. I'm notoriously bad at Prince. He's a really good use hero. I find Dark Prince works for me better because I don't intentionally play with a lot of cleaving characters. It's unfortunately, but yeah, it's without Dark Prince in front of my regular Prince, I don't think I have any chance of getting the mileage out of him that I want. And we'll just toss through Musketeer or regular Musketeer. Zap. Got nothing. Toss this out. See what we get. It's not the worst. It's another Prince. Let's see how bad I play against him. And we got no interest in that charge. So, looks like we've switched to the left-hand side. Good for us. Don't really care. And so Dark Prince is awesome because of where his cleave hits. It's just if he's straight on like he was with the first Dark Prince, he's not going to cleave he's not going to cleave and hit more than what you want him to. And oh man, Mini Pek is definitely a can opener. I don't know. Against the double Prince charge, it's I don't know. I used Skeleton Giant back in the day to deal with that. I don't have to anymore. Not like as in a bad thing or a good thing. Just you don't have to. I found my Skeleton Giant was honestly pretty amazing, but he also had problems. My biggest problem with him was oh god. Then there's that. Yeah, talking instead of doing your spells. Smart, smart, smart. I'm so darn smart. But yeah, Giant Skeleton can get a little bit unwieldy. But honestly, that's kind of the point. Wow, that did not get the Prince. This is going to get really bad really fast. So, because I'm not putting physical units in front of their charges, I'm basically dealing with this, and I think I'm going to lose because of it, quite honestly. Oh, snag that hog. Screw it. Oh, nope, not enough. So that's going to be really bad. I lose. I thought he was going to get another hit. Another hit would have mean that as soon as I throw out my shock, he would have won. If I had positioned the shock on both of the towers, he probably would have gotten the last hit, and I would have been victorious there. So that's, once again, it's, hey, I'm learning how to play spells better. Who would have thought? Woo, crazy. Agag, don't give up your Royal Giant deck so quickly. Royal Giant is still awesome. Don't get me wrong. I just picked something that I thought would counter Royal Giant relatively well, and that is more in line with the way I like playing. I'm clearly not winning every one of these fights, and I'm okay with that. Like that's not the point. It's getting better at basically playing the game. Because honestly, right now, I don't think I have anything that's gonna just go out there and win, 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 win. If I did, I certainly would be playing it. So good fireball from them. It knocks the Hog Rider away, so he's not going to get anything. He basically got shot down way faster than he would have otherwise. We got some damage on the tower. It wasn't honestly worth it though. You really need to get a lot of damage out of those sorts of pushes, and I say that because they've got an elixir pump down. That's kind of a big deal the entire game. People pretend like it's late game only, but it's not. So we misplayed that one pretty hard. Goblins would have helped out tremendously on that side. Yes, congratulations, thumbs up. And then, so this is kind of the reason why I don't like, playing with defensive structures anymore. Is sometimes you're just not fast enough with your fingers to take out basically a Hog Rider charge, and then you have basically that defensive unit, and it's basically worthless. You could have picked anything else, and it would have been more effective. So they play a defensive structure. We're going to poison their resources. That's just... I don't want to go across there. Inferno Towers are still scary. Like, that's not any sort of, a hard lesson to learn there. I don't want to take on an Inferno Tower at full health. Look at them, zapping. I do find Zap gets played a lot more. Kind of for obvious reasons, but even so, it's pretty impressive. I personally would like to get my Zap up to the point where it kills minions that are level 9. Most people don't have level 10 minions at where I'm at. I personally think Zap would probably be the fastest way for me to quote-unquote level up. But that's really expensive, and I don't know if I'm willing to do that to my clan, because I think it's like something unreasonable, like 800 or something like that, to get it at this level. So, if we're going to do that, people are going to have to give me a bunch of resources. We're splitting this up just a little bit. I know one of those goblins would have gone and done something a little bit cheeky had it lived. We're just going to poison to stay in this game. Well played. Yeah, so congratulations on saying well played early. You're now an idiot. We totally get it. You're playing the tactics. I'm sorry, if you're going to talk, you're going to talk at the end of the game. You're not going to talk in the middle of it. That makes you look like pretty much an arrogant jerk, at least in my opinion. If you're saying nasty things in the middle of the game, yeah, that's what you were saying. It's not a hard thing. And just because we can't say anything doesn't mean that's not what you're exactly saying, because it is. I am no fool. Congratulations. It's nice to, say nasty things at the end of the games to see how much you can dishearten people from playing the game. Oh look, 15 seconds left. You're still not looking all that great. Oh, I just wanted to win. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Fair play. And you're frozen. You're frozen. Not even dealing with you. There, you're zapped. Anyway, yeah, so that was the well played, just lose at the last second. I don't normally get excessively hot about stuff, but I'm sorry. It's unnecessary. You don't need to be saying thanks, 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 thanks. It's not cute. It's not cool. This game is intentionally fun. And trying to, interject that nastiness into it, it doesn't make it fun for anybody. Winning is not that important. It's not. Zap. Get a hit. Oh man, if you got 2, that would have been amazing. But yeah, because you zap on the tower, I personally think that particular maneuver is worth it. We're going to be throwing Mini Pek into the Royal Giant. Musketeer's only going to be killing Barbs until she kills them all, but at the same time, I mean, they didn't do any real damage. Just throw all of our garbage, they're throwing their garbage. And then if we get through and get a little bit of push on, that would be awesome. Good job, Musketeer. That's pretty solid. Okay, cool. They throw this down. We throw this down. Yeah. So thanks. No, seriously. I won't say it in game, but that's That's where you do the thanks, I'm a jerk. God. Anyway, this is looking real nice. We're just going to throw Musketeer because we know that they've already thrown barbs, so they can't drop it on us. There's the wizard we haven't even seen played yet. Just more information that we're getting. And mini Pekka. I don't really want to throw down my gobs for obvious reason. And then we can throw down a Dark Prince. And then we can give him a small entourage. And then, because of those goblins, he almost actually got the charge on. That would have been nice. That was at least partially what I was going for, is the funny part there. And... spells! They're not the best. Don't get me wrong. Having all spells in my hand at that point sucked. But this doesn't suck. So they do a very solid job of distracting. Don't get me wrong, they're about to get massive returns because of that. The question is, I managed to save my tower, that's awesome. Hog Rider, you should totally go out there. Oh my god, barbarians! Shocker! Ooh. So the zap there was definitely for the sake of slowing them down. They're about to win this. If I don't win it right about now. Oh, well played. Obviously, I had a lot more of their tower down than they had of mine, but it didn't matter. They were going for the 2. I was looking really strong there in the beginning and the middle, but quite honestly, the end went to them, and good for them, because that was really good play. So, I like spells just a little bit too much right now. I almost didn't see that wizard in there. I was just going to throw the goblins. That would have been disastrous. Dark Prince will not be disastrous. He will be wonderful, as he is. We'll throw out some Sphere Goblins. And... honestly, screwed. Should have zapped those immediately. I thought they were going to do more than they did, but they didn't. If I had thrown zap much earlier, there'd probably be an extra... there'd be some extra health on my tower. And then this will be in time for a decent freeze. That is not freezable. I could have hog pushed, but quite honestly, I didn't know whether or not it was worth hog pushing. Hog pushing used to be way worth it because of well, the obvious. People used to play nothing but defense. And then let's see. And then we're going to zap this because, quite honestly, we don't want that Dark Prince coming through and wrecking up my gobs. Get some extra damage. This is honestly the biggest use of zap for me, is when you can spend 2 elixir and just get a little bit more out of a situation and turn it. I heavily advise anybody trying it out. Like, it's a really good spell. I didn't understand what it was good for until I started playing with it a lot more. And I can pretty easily say that I really very much enjoy the spell. I'm going for basically the gold on this. This is unfortunate. We can still defend this pretty easily, too. Oh man, even easier. Even easier. Man, I love poison. It's good on offense and defense. It's not perfect anywhere, but it's pretty amazing. And then we're gonna throw... Oh no. Okay. And then match over. If they had enough, they could have pushed down my tower. We would have had to go in overtime. Obviously, defense, at least in my opinion, is harder than offense at this point, using the cards you got. Sometimes it's much easier to take down somebody's tower. Other times it's not. And so even if you get an early tower, honestly, the match isn't over. You still got to hold on to it. I personally find that to be a little bit difficult. Hey, that's my technique. Throw a musketeer on top of it, because I said so. Boo boo. Oh, man. Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think I'm going to get the musketeer with this, which is really important. God, that's so bad. Anyway. And if I had been faster with the freeze, it might have been more effective, but, you know, it just wasn't. Also, level 9 barbs. Those are basically the bane of my existence. It's where a Dark Prince can't just easily man-fight them down. Apparently you need a level 5 Dark Prince to do that, which is unfortunate, because I don't have a level 5 Dark Prince, that is for sure. Maybe one day. One day. And then, poison, it only works on the Tesla for when it's up, but it does work on those minions the entire time. I don't want the minions with that Hog Rider, so I'll take it. The Zap is not going to be enough. It's unfortunate. They're getting much better freezes than I'm doing, so let's see what we can do about that. You definitely want the charges with the level 9 barbs. As I said, you can barely fight them off at this point. It's kind of unreasonable. Yeah, just very, very unreasonable. Screw it, we'll throw Hog Rider. They're going to throw Hog Rider at me next. That's literally what's in the next bit of their rotation. They have a defensive structure, good for them. There it is. We're going to throw Freeze much earlier. That way we can really mess with them. They still got it. That's so very unfortunate. And then we're just going to pour it on. They're totally going to get that tower. They have to have arrows or something. Let's just not even pretend like they don't. There's Hog Rider. As I said, we're really not looking to fight them. We're looking to take their tower. Oh, you're so annoying. And with that amount of time left, I'm not going to have time in order to get through all this. I'm glad I did. My castle looks like garbage. Counter freeze. We're gonna zap. Congratulations, pushing in is hard. Musketeer is going to go all the way out here. Seems a little bit crazy at first, but we already know that they're going to hog right in. Ta-da! Anyway, seems like we're drawing a lot, but quite honestly, I don't notice a lot of people winning a lot. I haven't consistently fought against any particular one deck I can't draw against, which is obviously not my idea of a good time. But at the same time, if I can win some, and I don't lose most, that's pretty much as good as it gets right now, because I've seen most certainly myself lose massively post-patch, which is good. Goblins are so good. But yeah, that was 300 hit points they just gave me for free. Okay, maybe not for free now, but for cheap. And we'll throw out Dark Prince because after it breaks, 2 is better than 1 as far as the... Ooh. So Fireball might make it so that their golems kill. My mini Pek... Oh, gotcha, she says that she just dies. Anyway. Let's see what we can do here. We don't honestly know almost anything about their deck other than it's got a couple of cards in it, which is sort of obvious. Oh my god, fight back the Horde! Fight back the Horde! And I could have totally thrown Zap there, but at the same time, sometimes you just take a little bit of damage and you just run off into the sunset. I think I'm going to freeze them back, and then I'm absolutely going to zap that, so at least to get a hit. 2 hits! Oh, if I got 3 hits, that would have been such a lucrative little one. Anyway, princesses are hard to deal with. That's why, honestly, one of the reasons why I liked my Musketeer so much is because she takes care of business. And I like that. Yeah, I was about to say, they're totally waiting for a Golem. All 3 of my my Spear Goblins were on the Golem instead of the Tower, which is really unfortunate, since, you know, they're not going to do that much, honestly. Same thing again. Throw Dark Prince on this side. We're going to zap because we really don't like what's going on in the back. Ooh. Okay, so poison right here. So she's locked on. I'm pretty sure this means... Ooh, this is going to get bad. Okay. So, Hog right on. Good enough. Everything that's in there will at least technically die at some point. We really want that tower pretty badly. I'm willing to freeze for it. Now for round 2. So, part of me wants to just go for it, and by go for it, I mean literally just go for their tower. It's not excessively risky, it's just, it requires you to really know what you're doing. And quite honestly, at this point, I can pretty easily tell you that finishing off that sort of thing gets really dicey. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I was about to say, the Golem charge is probably going to win. I didn't have enough, and because the Golem goes so slow, it was wasting my elixir. I didn't have anything to basically slow that down. My deck, that is. My Witch in the previous incarnation of the deck totally was working for that sort of situation. But, you know, people don't play Golem as much as they play Royal Giant, so that's kind of the reason why I gave it up. So by throwing the Hog Rider, basically what we got out of that was we distracted so they couldn't play all of that down the same lane. Unfortunately, our timing on our mini Pek wasn't good enough. He spent most of his time, or her time, depending on your interpretation. She spent too much of her time basically fighting the little goblins that were intentionally there for distract. So, you know, good for them, bad for us. Let's see what we can do about making this better. And so we're going to do the same thing again. We're pretty sure that they're going to come at us. Same strategy. By killing those, Hog Rider gets way more action, by the way. Like, way, way, way more action. There we go. I was about to say, we need that freeze really fast. So, Peck and Tower will come out first. Peck won't even be on the tower for the splash from the fireball from the wizard, so this is actually a pretty okay situation. Our left tower is going to take a beating if we don't protect it, so let's make sure we do that. And then if we can just protect basically that left side, we win this match. And Hog Rider's a little bit more aggressive than we're probably looking for right now, especially because we basically just activated that defensive structure. Zap isn't going to be all that great. We can take care of this, hopefully, with a little bit of mini-Pek. I'm waiting for them to play their second card for me to freeze it. Apparently, I'm not even going to do that. We're going to Poison Field. We're going to Musketeer. And then there goes their defensive structure again. This is problematic because they can easily take this now. Didn't get any of that in time. Now we're basically on to a full game again. We're doing okay on their side, so I'm not too concerned. Poison Field never hurt anybody except for my opponents. Oh man, if they want to throw that there, I will totally take that. So, that's a little bit too aggressive with what was already out there. This is basically the biggest clobber squad you can come up with. We're going to freeze all of it too, give them ample time to do their job. If it wasn't for those gobs, we'd be absolutely on that tower and just wrecking it. We'll throw some more poison on it because, quite honestly, at this point, I don't think they're going to turn it around quick enough. And Hog Rider won't even interact with that, and whatever they will throw down, I've got Zap for. Oh, so close. So if this goes even slightly longer, we're done with this, right? Now, mind you, their giant is coming in. We've only got 1321. I'm still pretty sure with another 10 seconds, that's my game. I'm okay with that. And then I probably should have played that Musketeer a little bit further back. She would have gotten tower assist with the first Musketeer, and honestly, the Knight was going to die before it touched the tower no matter what. Yay, says the princess. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit silly. Hog Rider's going to go down. Prince is going to chase after him. Seems extremely excessive. He gets his hit, though. So, I don't know. I can take that. People playing Knight is very infrequent. So, I don't know. This is kind of funny. I don't think Knight is good enough, honestly, any longer. He needs more HP or something to actually be legitimate. Walking faster would also help him, but, you know, that's sort of the sort of things that might make the game very different. And then, so we're going to throw poison on all of that, because it'll basically kill those 2 units as best they can. Spear Goblins with a mini Pekka will be fine for this Prince. No. So, those Goblins were basically pushing the Valkyrie forward. We want more tower hits on that Valkyrie, quite honestly. And so this is going to take out my gobs. It stinks. Ooh. Good for them. God, I still have nothing on this side. That's really unfortunate. There we go. So, Princess hurts and all, but, like, she doesn't hurt that bad, clearly, because she didn't do that much damage. We'll zap this so we get at least 1 hit on there. 2 hits is pretty good. Poison through this area will be a very attractive boon. Goblins and mini Pekka. And Dark Prince. There we go. That's enough for me to actually put any of my spells to work. Actually, poison on this side. Done. Anyway, that person's deck didn't have really any knockout punch in it. It's like it was basically built for nothing but countering, and that's unfortunate because, like, that's not how you take towers. You have to be able to take towers. That's essentially why I have 5 units that are very capable of dealing tower damage, and then 3 spells to support them. Using those spells and those units defensively, that's honestly what I'm trying to do, is get better at that. I may eventually work out some of those spells for something else. I can't think of anything that's better. Like, I could get a tanker unit, but 3.5 elixir cost isn't that bad. That's not, I mean, it's not amazing, but it's just not that bad. So I don't know. That's the part of the reason why I'm liking this deck. Zap is cheap. Like, that's all there is to it. Spear Goblins are cheap. Like, if I had more cards that were that good for that cheap, there would be more lower cost cards in my deck. I just haven't found anything that's around a 2 or a 3 that I really want in my deck, other than legendaries, which I do not own. So, you know, not a hard conundrum there. You could have a different deck composition if you had a different deck. Oh, thank you very much. It's very helpful. So, Zap wasn't amazing there, but it certainly saved our bacon, quote-unquote. Because, I mean, that's what you're going to get in trouble with by throwing early Hog Riders, is that if they get nullified by a 2-cost card, that's no good. Poison goes down again. Of course I like Poison. Look at how much Poison does for me. I mean, it's taking out these barbs. Obviously, it's a spawner. It's going to spawn more. Duh. But it basically lets me attack their spawning unit and their units and their tower at the same time. That's definitely the sort of thing that you want. And then we're basically getting this to draw it out. As soon as we can get something that's basically cheap enough, we're going to try to get to poison. God, we're rotating and they just will not give us the poison. Ooh, okay, so here's the fun one, right? You throw poison on this, it slows down their attack speed. I'm going to get the crap kicked out of me. Let's not lie. But without that, death. That was absolute death. Spawners with 3 Musketeers, that's pretty solid. I'm going to totally give them credit for putting together something that's pretty attractive. Usually people try to get a giant or something like that in front of basically a spawn legion so that they can really take you down a notch. But it doesn't look like that's the way they're going with this. Zap's going to kill enough that it's worth its money, or its elixir cost. Musketeer will do a solid job there. Essentially, the next time they throw a 3 Musketeer, I've got to be ready for it, but unfortunately, I am not. There we go. So, I do have Freeze, and I do have Dark Prince. That's very fortunate. As soon as they're on my side, we freeze them, and then we Dark Prince. He'll just fight his way out of that. Three Musketeers is pretty nasty. There's lots of things you can do to counter them. I don't know. As soon as I noticed that Dark Prince was good at countering them, I think I said Dark Prince is probably never getting out of my deck. That's probably not an exaggeration. I probably will never get rid of Dark Prince. God, if only I had just more poison. Not even joking about that. And then it's gonna go down right about now. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. And their spawner almost went down in time to save their tower. This would have been a very different game. It would have been really nasty. I would have had to scramble really hard if they had managed to get that. But, you know, PEKKA was already on the way. That's what you want. I use a tablet. I've got questions. How do you record? I use a tablet, and then I basically feed it through my laptop. Because, yes, I record on a laptop. It's great. And then Zap does plenty of damage. Ooh. So this is unfortunate. I don't have a good anti-air deck. Literally, I have a bad anti-air deck. I don't know if anybody has a good anti-air deck, but I certainly don't have it. So I got lucky because they Royal Gianted it into that. That was basically as bad for them as they could have gotten. It was Zap, come for me, kill my... Yes! Excellent. So I seem to emphasize Zap getting like extra tower hits. It's kind of a big deal. When Hog Rider and Mini Pek hit as hard as they do, I mean, honestly, spending 2 elixir to get another hit, plus hitting that tower with Zap, is totally worth it for me. Throw Hog Rider and Musketeer. That's an old combo. We're going to throw poison on top of it so that it lasts longer. This is going to get real bad. As I said, not good at anti-air. Probably should be saving my Zap for that. I think I'm going to start doing that. That's a very odd rage. I'm going to... Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to taunt the guy. That sucks. Their name is Dragon Rush. I guess that's sort of... Anyway. And... Basically, the Pek goes down just to tank. The Musketeer is going to come out and fire off the last one. Not going to get too far, but we're going to poison it again, because, you know, kind of, why not? We can throw this here. It's a good Zap for me. And don't get me wrong, this rage strat makes sense. It's just, I don't know. The way I play doesn't allow for that sort of thing without them having a really good setup. And they haven't been able to push me around, and part of that's because they blew a rage, which is only 3 elixir, but, you know, it's still 3 elixir. Like, right now, technically, I'm blowing elixir on that side, but honestly what I'm doing is trying to distract and have them bring out their units so I can see what they are. Zap right there, it's going to do just magical things. We're going to freeze it. Because honestly, minions hit pretty hard. Like, this guy isn't stupid for using minions. How many people have Arrow and Zap in their deck? Some. But not a heck of a lot. So, you know, it makes sense. Awesome. So anyway. We're up to 25-49. It feels like we basically hit a dead point there because we did so many draws in a low. Um, as I said, I don't like draws. Like, I really like there to be some sort of finish, but when you know the other person's got it up on basically on top of you and that they're going to win, sometimes a draw feels a little bit more satisfying now that everybody doesn't just play defensive structures. Wow, that was lightning, by the way. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was a bit weird. And I don't see lightning used very often. I mean, just straight out, you don't, because it's not all that great. Valkyrie, not ideal. We're gonna basically nullify each other. If it was on either one of our side, obviously they would have won. Let's do this and this. And then we'll throw a Hog Rider to basically tank for both of those units. And then we're gonna zap. That's unfortunate. So I'm not going to get into a position where I can get like something good up on them. So honestly, wasting it would be wasting it. It would not be smart to throw spells at what's basically a bad assault. They had very good defense. They used the defensive structure well. It's good for them. Just basically throwing your elixir on the field for it to do nothing is not a smart choice. It doesn't feel like I'm going to do too well. I've got to honestly counter them to have any possibility of realistically turning this around. I don't really understand the point of their deck yet, which isn't the most important thing, but it certainly can get very useful. This is an ideal freeze situation. Come on. There it goes. God, take forever, freeze. And then, unfortunately, he doesn't have enough HP left. Those little skeletons are going to take him out. Ooh, that hurt. So they gave me the old zap zap. Oh, that's going to really hurt. Oh well. So we lose tower first. It looks like they're just playing units. I honestly think this is the same thing as that last deck where they didn't have really a knockout. But at the same time, they're playing way better, so you know, it's hard to actually debate against that sort of a thing. Do this. And we're going to hog. God, that is just so unnecessary. And by that I mean totally fair. Wink. Oh, come on. Nope, got nothing. So, this is the unfortunate part. If I had gone a little bit sooner, Hog might have gotten through a little bit further, but quite honestly, I didn't have the elixir in time. But yeah, I'm just curious what they actually had. Yeah, they played 3 spells as well, and they played a counter deck, and there's probably No, actually, they only played Lightning once anyway, so this is almost guaranteed to be nothing but a counter deck, which is crazy. God, that's so weird. But yeah, I totally lost to it. There's really no way to say it other than that. Hog Rider's still difficult to deal with, even with like the sort of things I have, because it requires me to throw Elixir at it. And then the whole point is that the same things that I can throw against a Hog Rider on defense, I can throw with a Hog Rider on offense. It's honestly the reason why I'm liking it. And then... Oh! Pretty sure that's for Pello right there. He asks, what do you have in your deck? That's what I've got in my deck. It's 3 spells. It's a little bit crazy. Oh. Yeah. And then, Jose Gamer, what is going on? So we already know they threw a defensive freeze. That's the only reason why I threw the poison. They're also level 7 barbs. Most of them are going to be dead by the time they show up over here. You know, these people don't have over-leveled barbs. This will probably be okay. Or maybe it won't. So this is going to be hopefully not too much of a treat for you guys. Sparky is the devil. Like, Sparky is an evil, evil character. I like Sparky. I wish I had Sparky. Oh my god, F this guy. Okay, so scatter your shit is basically what we're playing here. Good enough. So, that was pretty terrible. Sparky basically unloads on... Oh god, and he has a freaking bomb tower. So, this is going to be a boring game. Poison, poison, poison. Poison is basically no good against Sparky. Sparky's got a lot of HP. Moves fast enough that it'll get through it. It won't kill Sparky. That's the whole point. Throw Hog Rider as fast as possible. We're going to hope to freeze. It's a pretty solid freeze. They counter freeze. Man, it's like, you know, they've got only one objective here. They really do only have one objective here. It's really gross. Zap all of that. But their objective is to get Sparky locked and loaded on my tower. That's literally their objective. It's gonna hurt. We're saving Dark Prince. Dark Prince basically has anti-Sparky technology. Is what I'm gonna call it. Their balloon is also extremely deadly. Ooh. Nope, that's bad. So, Zap does reset Sparky, so does freezing it. So this will be enough because we had a charge going into that, that it was worth it. Let's throw this. Oh my god, freezing and stuff. Never seen that before. Anyway, so let's try to mount ourselves a real offense here. It's not going to come down to much because their tactics are pretty well contained. The bomb on the on the balloon worked out pretty well for them, honestly. We'll throw poison. Screw you. I also have excessive amounts of spells. And then all we gotta do is hit once with this, so we're gonna zap. Nope. It's not gonna get anywhere. I was about to throw Dark Prince, which would have been just a giant mistake, because they still have Sparky. And I would have lost miserably for such. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Oh yeah, we'll definitely take that. And no, seriously. Anyway, our next zap is winning this game. Let's just kind of cycle through our deck as fast as we can. And whatever, poison. Good enough. Do I love poison? Yes, I love poison. Poison is the devil. I love it. Such a good move. Yeah, Nate, that's actually a pretty solid deck. Yeah, no, that's a solid deck, especially for Rage. Because nothing in there is excessively easy to take out. I mean, sure, they can arrow like half of it, but, I mean, there's another half of your deck that you can't really just arrow and take out, so Rage, they have to put like a real spell against it. So that's good. Got people telling me what they play with Rage. And honestly, it's good. So much BS. Anyway. If I had had freeze, it would have been a fantastic turnaround. Anything they played afterwards, though, would have killed it. Oh man, I don't know what I'd do with that. Poison, 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 poison. Poison, poison, poison. Poison, 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 poison. Oh yeah, I'm absolutely the devil. That's why I'm so nice. It's to lull you all into a false sense of security. Oh, come on! Come on! Anyway, so apparently we know something that is significantly more. Oh no! Okay, so goblins are gonna go for block. We have literally no way to get rid of that damn thing. We're gonna use our zap and pretend like it's gonna be enough. God! Anyway. Yeah, I totally, like, killed it and stuff. But for a second there, I went, how the hell am I gonna actually deal with this? And the answer is I didn't know. I just started throwing what seemed like good ideas at the time. Obviously, I saved a card or two because I knew what was at stake, but even so, that was just kind of gross. So that's going to kite me over into the elixir pump. That one goblin is my hero because he threw as many spears as was humanly possible in that time. The other two, bunch of idiots. And by that I mean I love them too because, you know, they helped kill that ice wizard. Throw this here. I imagine we'll see another Sparky. God, Sparky. We don't like you. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough, quite honestly. We'll see. Oh, Mini Peck, you got so lasered. You got lasered so hard. I'm sorry for your loss. Okay, so, Hog Rider. It's the slowest Hog Rider. Ah, it's so frustrating. Because all I wanted to do was freeze there and win the game. That's all that was going to happen there. But they were like, nope, it's going so slow. Getting so frustrated. Okay. Oh, come on! Anyway. Yeah, so that sucked. I don't know. I wish I had an ice wizard and a Sparky, he said, you know, venomously like a lazy jerk. Yeah, I totally don't have any legendaries. It makes me a little bit angry. As soon as I saw that they had Sparky with the Royal Giant, I was miffed because what they did is exactly what you should do with a Sparky, which is basically create an anti-Royal Giant battering ram. Sparky is, it's gorgeous. Like, I want that card so bad. Of all of the new stuff, the one that I don't see very often is most certainly the the Lava Hound. And don't get me wrong, I've had zero success against the Lava Hound, but Sparky is so freaking cool because it just blows stuff away. Yeah, it kind of feels like a defensive structure that can creep forward. It's sort of like a mortar, blah 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 blah. But you can disable it so easily in some ways. Like you throw a zap, you throw some like expendable goblins, things like that, in a place that's position wise like a good choice for you, and all of a sudden Sparky becomes less attractive for the use. But the whole point is you have to have it in your hand. So it's really like a let's find out what they got in their hand is literally what Sparky means. That really is kind of like the game for him, and it's a beautiful game. I would love to play that game. I would love to play with a Sparky. But I do not have a Sparky. I assume I would play a deck very similar to what they had there. If I had that, obviously Ice Wizard was a nice touch. He used his Ice Wizard really well, both as the block and as the finish off. Quite honestly, neither one of them were dying quickly. It was really good. Anyway. Thank you for the compliments, Icon Combo. We appreciate it. I like my channel too. Hopefully you are also enjoying Clash Royale. I don't know. Game is really really good. And so I hope other people are enjoying it as much as I do because I really like playing this game a lot. It's definitely something to play for fun, and yeah, you can take it a lot more seriously than I do, but the whole point is that when you start doing that, you start focusing on having fun playing the game and only focusing on what will win 100% of the time, and then you start playing somebody else's deck. I don't personally want people to figure out what min-max is the best at the very top for at least a couple of weeks when a new patch comes out, because that means I can't go around and just, play the game and enjoy it. So hopefully you guys like that too. As I said, this game is an awful lot of fun for me. So I can definitely hog right in there, and I can definitely any spell that I want. Nope, that's basically a waste. I do have to use the elixir somehow, though, so I might as well use it for that. Because holding on to elixir doesn't help you. And honestly, I like punishing people for putting things down and making them think. This and that. And I'm going to feel really confident about how I dealt with that, because that looks really good. Excellent. So, Peck's not going to make it. Yeah, I don't have any spells that are going to push out the longevity of this. But overall, that was a pretty solid push, so I'll take it. We could poison again, but honestly, that leaves us open to retaliation. If we manage to hit 10, then we'll throw it anyway. So we're in double elixir time. Yeah, they got 2 hits. I really want to save the zap for this reason. So I want to get somewhere with this. Poison on that guy. Poison on all of you. Dishonor on your cow. Etc. Silly Mulan. Okay, so Musketeer needs better positioning. Fireball. And quite honestly, at this point, I'm basically waiting for Poison or Zap to come back. Baby comes up. Baby comes up. There it goes. I win. Lasers. Lasers from space. That's what you get for playing an Inferno Tower. How dare you play any defensive structure. Jokes. I don't know. That's what I really like Poison for. It lets me take a portion of their territory and basically make it mine, in the sense that I can deal damage to it. And slow them down and slow their attack speed. It's pretty gross. Yeah, I don't know. I really like it for what I use it for. And then Base J, it's, you know, my deck is apparently okay. I'm using 3 spells. I'm pretty sure that's good. Sitting in my regular range, 2500, 2700 is the max I've gotten to. Tipping over 2600, basically, I feel like that's luck streaks, and I'm totally cool with that. And I'm trying to level up my my deck. Mini Peck is 91 out of 100, so all I realistically need is 3 more requests. Mini Peck will be up. My clan will totally give it to me because they're awesome. I mean, you ask me for just about anything, and I will give it to you. There are very few restrictions. Yeah, I don't know. When I see donations, as much as I'm nowhere close to level 10, because I am nowhere close to level 10, that doesn't really bother me, I guess is the way to say it. I'm still going to give you cards for XP, and I still want your gold. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, you know, updating cards, right? There's still a couple of green bars in there that I can easily level up. Like that guy. So tempted. No, but I'm going to need it for when I get Mini Peck. Anyway, because it'll be like 4K. Oh yeah, slow down that Musketeer just a little bit for me, so it can have really good timing. I always hate that when you get just a little bit further, like you needed like half of a second to be able to throw a card, and you know what its range is. Like, you know it's going to be good. But it's like, nope, sorry, got too far. Can't stop it now. And then we'll totally let it on the tower so we can just murder it. Throw a Musketeer behind it. Peck, murder that Musketeer. Thank you. You are the best. Oh, and the tower. Oh, and the tower. Anyway, I'll take that. So if they want to throw Elixir Pump, we're going to throw a bunch of garbage at them to basically punish. Mind you, Hog Rider with Spear Goblins is nowhere near as effective as it is before you get the tower out. Also, good use of Dark Prince. We'll throw our own Dark Prince on top of that. Who would have thought? Mine is stronger as per numbers. Shocker. I kind of think they've given up at this point. I could be wrong, but, you know. Okay, so the way this guy works is apparently he gets, you know, like he deals basically no damage and he goes straight for towers, right? So what we're looking for is something that is air. Going to freeze all of this. We're going to start pecking it. And then, honestly, we need as many anti-air out as possible. And this is gonna be some fun. Okay, so there they come out. I got most of them with Zap, and so I saw what was it? Saw another streamer who pointed out when to attack it, and I wanted to know approximately what that was for myself. Zap seemed to work really well. They were saying arrows, and I didn't want to find out that I couldn't do that with Zap. But I at least hit some of it. I don't know if I hit all of it, but it looks like I hit most of them. Probably I could hit 4 of them consistently with the amount of time. Because that comes down fast. Like, really fast. So, I don't know. Hey, look, everybody's got legendaries but me. Make me feel bad, why don't you? Yeah, I really like the new Fire Spirits too. I'm going to put some time into actually making a deck that uses them. I don't know how to do it yet, but they're going to be one of those units where, sure, it costs you, but the whole point is getting like the big bang out of it. I assume by distracting them with one unit and then just sucker punching the heck out of them with a big mass with those guys, because they look really awesome. The Furnace also looks really attractive. I've only had to fight against it a couple of times. Mine is just really low level. I wouldn't want to use it yet. And then we're getting close to 2600. No big deal. One way or the other. Let's just hope that we can get some good games out of this, quite honestly. Spear Goblins. Goblins of Spear. Ooh, Peck and... Now, is that regular Peck or is that mini Peck? Because I assume it's mini Peck, or it's regular Peck. And then a little bit of the split push here. The reason we're going for this is because they're going to counter my Dark Prince, and I'm not going to get anything out of it. Holy Jeebus. We're going to throw Poison on all of this. We're going to throw Zap on all of this. And hope that it kills all of those 3 Musketeers, which it did! Because Poison is awesome! Our left side is looking nice and clean. Our right side is looking nice and clean. That's not fair. I threw all of my units. They had multiples on them. There was 3 and 4 of them. And I'm like, yeah, I got Poison. It's cool. So Peck's gonna come out, and we're gonna mini Peck our regular Peck. This is the reason why I like mini Peck. All you have to do is put something out there to help. Ooh. Okay, so this is gonna get slightly more complicated. Not significantly more. Freeze, mini Peck, go! Spear Goblins, do your job. Oh, see, Big Peck knows mini Peck is the real deal here. He straight stopped trying to kill Dark Prince and went for mini Peck, because he goes, no sir, you do way more damage. So I was kind of curious about that, because he was facing forward. It doesn't make any sense that he wouldn't. And then we're going to turn all of them around, or at least bash their skulls off if they don't really want to disengage. That's totally cool with me. The poison is primarily thrown on the 3 Musketeers in that position, because I'm trying to slow their attack speed, so I have time enough to counter them. Obviously it kills them too, but it's, as I said, it's not exactly the point of it. We don't want to spend too much on this. They're going to throw enough at us with that much of a wind-up that we don't want to be basically caught unaware. Musketeer from this far back will probably do a fantastic job. We're still going to try to mini-peck. They're going to try to... Oh, that's no good. It's no good. There they go. There's the Three Musketeers. And freeze. Just, you know... Don't get me wrong. Left side is getting pulverized. Like, crushed. But we're pretty far ahead at this point. So it's gonna be alright. Now we go for it all. The only reason we didn't go for it the last time was they had the PEKKA down. I'm sorry, the PEKKA was going to wreck us. We weren't going to get all of the tower, and that was going to be it. Darn, we came close. But anyway, as I said, if I had gone for that earlier, we wouldn't have gotten the entire tower. It's hard to push an entire tower unless it's completely unprotected. So, you know, still fun, though. We're at 1619, or 2619, that's pretty good. As I said, we go up to about 2700 before I start falling back down, and I either need better cards or better play. The spell, I did not hit 27 with the spell deck, I hit it with the witch deck, so it's hard to say really how high this one will go, but they're similar in thought that I can see it going at least the same area. I can't tell you that I think that it'll beat it until I get really good with the spells or I level the spells up some. So I've got what is it, Saba 12, Alam Maliki 12, and he goes, can you use a new card deck? And literally I've never used this card deck before. If you want to see me play a different card deck, that's totally cool. That's my old card deck, and this is my new one. But literally, can I use a new card deck? Sure, why not? We'll just throw this one out here. We'll have some fun. See what we get. They throw Valkyrie, I throw Giant Skeleton. Ooh. And then we have Dark Prince. He's going to be our Battering Ram. You'll see this right now. And then what we're really trying to do is not let them put anything that's going to get in the way. Oh, I didn't get the freeze on the tower. That's unfortunate. So, bomb's not going to go off where I want it to. If I had hit freeze on the tower, it would have lasted a heck of a lot longer. For some reason, they're still crying even though they're doing just fine. You know, like, I don't know. Sometimes people emote too much. They use a bomb tower, I use I'm a Jerk. Baby Dragon is definitely one of my favorite cards, only for this reason. If Baby Dragon had a slightly larger range, I would play him more, but quite honestly, this is the problem that I have with him. And then, so this tower is basically ours. We should probably start working on the left one, or the right one. Once again, Bulldozer. Oh, come on. You're killing me, Valkyrie. You're killing me. Okay, so... Nope, at this point they're just dumping all of their elixir on this side. Barbs won't get caught by that. It sucks. We'll just start throwing stuff on this side instead. And while I could have saved that tower, I mean, honestly, all they're going to do is pressure it over and over and over again. It's not really worth it. Okay, so they basically stopped their own Hog Rider. Good for them. Dark Prince didn't manage to keep them touched on that bubble because of it, though, so it's unfortunate. We've got plenty to push this off now that we actually care. They threw a freeze that was not going to work out that well. That's okay. We're going to throw a freeze. Hopefully it'll work out a little bit better for us. Just throw that there. God, nothing but freeze going down here. So I'm just going to keep working up my baby dragons. They do a very good job of sticking around a lot longer than an awful lot of units do. This person was just looking to tie. That's the reason why they apparently were happy once they managed to get that down. It's unfortunate. You know, it's another... This is the sort of thing that I have to deal with all the time. It's the reason why I stopped playing this deck. It's sure you can play defense, but, you know, it's a lot more fun to just throw it out there. That's why I use a spell deck for right now. And that's what my deck's turned into. Like, yeah, I can totally play with this deck. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. This deck would be perfect if Baby Dragon did what I needed him to do. Baby Dragon needs slightly longer range or rate of fire or something. Minion Horde just shreds Baby Dragons if they're basically going for defense. And don't get me wrong, something should be able to stop a Baby Dragon pretty easily. But you know, his rate of fire is terrible. It's like 1.8 seconds. That's absurdly slow. He doesn't hit very hard. His DPS is low, and all he's got basically going for him is that he AoE cleaves and he's got some meat on his bones. But, I mean, honestly, like, something for Baby Dragon. And obviously, Baby Dragon would then be, like, raining terror upon all the things and etc. But quite honestly, enough people are scared of Balloon as it is. It would be my way to counter Balloon, if it would, but it currently does not counter Balloon in the slightest. His DPS and his utility, it's just too low. What he's best at is basically when you're on defense, he just sits on your side of the fence and just spits on people. And so if you have like 2 or 3 baby dragons at once, because honestly I have had 3 baby dragons at once, it's not very hard to take their side of the field if that's left over from basically doing nothing but defense for the last like 15 or 20 seconds. I don't know. That's what I like about it. Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. Big Nates wants fights. Thankfully, I get pushed down a little bit. So I won't have like the full nastiness that I can possibly throw out there. I'll show you this. This is a fun one. So blow-up's gonna happen. Look at them gobs. Them gobs are good. Boop, 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 boop. Wait, how am I getting level 9 gobs? I think that they adjusted this at least a little bit. For probably tournament rules. It's unfortunate, because 9 gobs are pretty freaking sweet, to be quite honest. That makes this sort of unfair. I do feel bad. So this is what I was talking about for Baby Dragon. He's just gonna stick around. Like, the entire time. And then once this is pushed off, we'll basically throw out probably Hog Rider. Ooh, it's real nice. Haha, you faked the shit out of me. Good job. So, I totally threw the arrows in the wrong spot. I don't have other spells with this deck. All I've got is basically freezing arrows. So I can't turn around and, like, undo that, if that makes any sense. So that's, I don't know, that's really good. And then I think Hog Rider will be able to slip through here, and if not, he'll at least garner more things that'll get blown up by that bomb, and that's a win in its own right. No, there it goes. Ta-da! Boom, 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 boom. But yeah, actually, quite honestly, I used to play with Goblin Barrel a lot. That juke was hilarious because I thought for sure he was going to throw it on my back tower, and I literally wasted arrows with it. Also, Pella, I'm totally playing with my old deck, not my spell deck. If you want me to play with my spell deck, I totally will. Because I know I've been playing that today, and it's a little bit of an oddball. This should be all stuff that you've seen before, with little tweaks here and there. So I could definitely understand if you were like, no, give me the spell deck. I'm curious about its evil. And the answer is it's really freaking evil. Um, I'm wondering what max levels friendly battles go to, because my Dark Prince was totally level 4 there, and I swear that used to not be the case. They probably just moved all of the numbers up one or something like that, but I swear it was 8 and 3, and maybe that's just not the case anymore. Ruh-roh. Man, those things hurt. I'm not willing to sit there and questionably take some nastiness out of it. That bomb is not going to go off in where I want it to, which is unfortunate. Ooh, the poison! Not the poison! Yeah, I don't like poison. It really is quite nasty. I intentionally pick hardier characters so they can live through this. Because poison is super nasty, quite honestly. You know it, buddy. Ooh. Honestly, I don't even know if I have a counter to Royal Giant with this deck. Let's find out. Probably not, honestly. I think that's why I quit using it. Oh yeah, gonna lose right here. Mm-mm-mm. Just crushed me. But yeah, I don't know. That's my other deck. As I said, it doesn't have a really strong Royal Giant anti-push. So you have to get Tesla there in time, basically. And so if you don't get Tesla there in time, and it's basically about 2 steps, maybe 3 steps from Royal Giant, from them throwing it down on the line, you get nothing. Like, you have no way to actually stop him. There's no actual really strong burst damage in this. This was all what used to counter out mortars really well by basically being tanky and sticking around and being able to push through buildings. But Royal Giant is way better than a building. I don't know. It's the easy way for me to say it is it just doesn't have the power that I need it to go where it needs to go. The giant skeleton's great for basically cleaning up messes, but I mean it's not going to kill the Royal Giant with an explosion ever, because why would the basically the giant skeleton be killed while Royal Giant is out? Royal Giant's not going to focus on that. It would have to be all of his basically subservient minions that were doing it. And quite honestly, Giant Skeleton does not have like chainsaws for hands to just murder a Royal Giant otherwise. So there's really no point in it. Mini Pack, on the other hand, totally has chainsaws for arms. Or at least one big one. I don't know. Mini Pack is amazing. I love Mini Pack. Yes. And yeah, Pella, I like your deck. That is a good deck. That is exactly how you should play, at least in my opinion. That is a really solid Royal Giant. The one thing that I can easily say on it is that don't undervalue your minions. I'm sure you do realize how good they are, but minions are really unpleasant to deal with a Royal Giant because, quite honestly, like, what are you going to do to take those out? You got arrows and you got zap for like cheap answers. Fireball may or may not hit them, freeze, that sort of stuff. But if you've seen them play their anti-air stuff and you take note of that, minions are so good at punishing. And the only reason why I don't play them is because I don't like sitting back and waiting for that. I definitely HOG like crazy, and I acknowledge that your strategy is totally legit without HOG. And I'm not saying that's no strategies in my mind. I'm just saying that I want to have something going on for me that's interesting. And a Royal Giant is just as good as a HOG Rider, at least as far as action that'll make something go on. Like, you don't have to sit there and like worry about basically boring gameplay with either of those cards. And yeah, absolutely, Frozen, you can. Yeah, and by the way, minions are better than Minion Horde because if they take you out with if they take out your minion horde with arrows or anything like that, you lose massive elixir. Like, honestly, you can't do it. But yeah, minions are way better. And so long as you level them up, they're really good. Where is... Here, we'll do friendly battle. Frozen G. Hopefully that will mark who I want to play against. God, what deck am I playing? I don't remember. I think I'm playing my new one. Anyway, we'll find out. Oh, actually, if you're going to do that... Okay, cool, I am. Still Frozen G. G. There we go. Oh, yeah. The question is, has he been watching the broadcast? Because if he just got here, he probably doesn't have a damn clue of what I'm doing. Ooh. Stinkers. Okay, so we'll throw this here. Throw that there. This is why I don't like defensive structures anymore. That is literally the reason why, is that right there. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Give him the old spear gun, Spear Gabos. Ooh, he's keeping the... So, I can't poison him because I threw so much elixir. If I threw poison on his backfield, any of the things that are here that are really messing with me would be able to take me out, because he's still got that spawner pressure. And at this point, it's not even worth throwing poison. I just want everybody to be aware of that. If a spawner's like halfway dead, you can totally poison for the sake of you know, getting the damage on it, but it's not really worth it to me, at least. And then, on the other hand, we can totally poison this side, because I'm a jerk. Ooh. There we go. Yeah, so that's real nice. So that's obviously a block using an elixir pump. Is it costly? Sure. I got 2 hits with a hog rider. I will personally take that exchange. Um, so I'm not going to complain too hard on that. We'll do. So same thing you can do with giant skeleton. You can do with mini PEKKA, and we'll give him some poison support for fun. They just get out there so fast. It's ridiculous. You are not allowed to give up, Frozen G. Don't give up. Anyway, we'll zap on top of that. Hog Ride, Musketeer. And then poison on all the things. Yeah, so... Yeah, I don't know. That mini PEKKA move you won't see me use very often because I usually can't get the amount of elixir I need for it. And also, it works really well against things like spawners if you don't cover your middle lane, because then they don't have to rush for it. I also had really good timing there, because literally your spawner was expiring when I had the ability to push that out. The likelihood of me being able to just throw that when I want to is really low, quite honest. I've tried really hard to get that sort of thing worked into my gameplay, but sometimes, honestly, with the amount of forethought that it takes to get it to succeed, it's not nearly as forgiving as the Royal, as the giant skeleton push. Because at least sometimes the Royal skeleton's push just blows up all over everything. Mini PEKKA is very specific. All you have to do is throw some like small units in the way, and it usually foils it. That's the reason why I use the Dark Prince, is so hopefully he'll splash those out and you'll get directly onto the tower. But in order for me to do that, the mini PEKKA is taking the tower hits. So unless I've got disabling the tower with something like poison or even zap or freeze, it doesn't work nearly that well. Because what that looked like was that I just ran you over and there was nothing you could do about it. But what it really was I just had all of the cards at the right time. And otherwise, you know, as I said, I could try that again and it would fail miserably, like mercilessly bad. Yes, absolutely you can have. Okay, yeah, and if your Wi-Fi is frizzing out, totally makes sense to me as well. Present you. Whee. And yeah, absolutely. I don't like this opening at all. So we got the charge out of the left side. It was pretty okay. We're not even going to defend. That's a terrible decision, but at the same time, it works so well with the mini PEKKA. If somebody doesn't defend against your mini PEKKA, like, it's probably the best spell usage you can do. Because quite honestly, mini PEKKAs just do more damage than just about anything else in the game, especially with how quickly they move. That's part of the reason why I said 3-spell deck. That's crazy talk. I'm like, dude, all of those can help out PEKKA. And quite honestly, mini PEKKA is like easily one of my superstars right now. Okay, that pretty much worked out the way I thought it would. Yeah, it stinks the Dark Prince has to go in there and sack, but if mini PEKKA gets a tower hit, it does not. Denied. Then it would have been worth it for me. And then distract. Honestly, I just wanted to shuffle it out of my deck. It can't defend. And right now we're obviously in defense mode. Ooh, so good for him. This is why going for like basically your 3 crown gets really dangerous, and that's because that those 4 barbarians would have just absolutely murdered my tower. Like that's not even a question. I'm assuming that was slightly better for you. It didn't look like it. Yeah, the last one when you didn't fight back, I was like, oh man, don't do that. I gotta show something off. I almost kind of wish that they gave you a random deck feature. Like this deck that I've got right there, that's just somebody beat me with the Royal Giants deck that was really nasty with Rage, and I figured I would give it a try out later. Um, I mean, it's really hard to make a random deck, if that makes any sense. Like you could just grab something that's out of your list of things, um, but it's a lot harder to basically pull that sort of thing out, if that makes any sense. Um, that is a terrible question. So Frozen asked me what would be a good replacement for Dark Prince if I were to copy it. The closest thing to a Dark Prince, at least in my opinion, is a Valkyrie. I think Valkyrie is one of the best units in the game, quite honestly. Where's Valkyrie at? Is it in my deck? Oh, it's totally in my deck. A lot more HP, but it can be like zapped down, unlike the Dark Prince. It's not going to charge for you. So any of the things that I do with charging, because I mean, honestly, like my high mobility deck, like the charge, the Hog Rider, that's what I like about this game. Is basically playing Raider style characters, like I don't know, like freaking Orc Raiders from Warcraft 3, like things that can move really fast, get in there and just knock stuff out. If you get the right timing for them, and that's what really does it for me. So if you were going to play basically my number 3 deck, which is what I'm playing right now, if you played a Valkyrie instead of a Dark Prince, you lose the charge, but you also gain the 360 cleave. The one thing I'm very jealous about of a Valkyrie is that when things come over your line and you drop a Valkyrie on their back, or basically in the middle of them, Valkyrie does massive damage. She's got the HP to take the beatings to the face, because let's face it, she just aggroed everything. But she's such a good defensive, like a nasty defensive unit. And Dark Prince originates as a defensive unit. He really does. Like the shield, the fact that he can cleave, he can take stuff out. But the charge is honestly what sets him apart for me personally, and the why I like him so much. That and his stupid helmet. His stupid helmet is so great. Like, look at that guy. Like, supposedly a prince, and he buys a headpiece that's that ugly. Like, this guy's got balls. Like, he clearly is all about just getting it done, because he could headbutt you with that and kill you, quite honestly. Like, I don't know. He's a smart guy. We'll just say it that way. He brought a shield to a jousting fight, unlike regular prince who did not bring a shield to jousting. I'm just saying. It's anyway. But yeah, that's my advice would be is I would throw that in there. They are the same cost too. That's the reason why I love Dark Prince so much. Is that a 4 cost? I thought he was going to be a 5 cost. When I first saw the card, but once I got there and he was like, it's a 4 cost. I'm like, I want that card now. And I happened to get him super magical chest and stuff like that. I got him up to like level 3, and then I got level 4 because he finally hit the shop. My God, so good. Heck yeah, the helmet, love. So good. Love that helmet. It's got like studs in it and stuff like that. It's riveted on. Maybe he can't ever take it off. I don't know. He's a cool guy. I like him. Oh wow! So I've been doing this for 2 hours apparently. I'm gonna call it for the day. I really enjoy playing this game still. I like their patch cycle. I can give like huge kudos to wanting to keep me entertained in this game because they do. Um, Supercell is doing a fantastic job. I was not much of a Clash Clanner, and that just came down to that I really wanted to get down to like the fight part, if that makes any sense. And then when I realized that realistically, like the interactivity of this is just so high, like I love this game. Like it gives me everything I want out of like nasty PvP, without being nasty. Other than people sitting there and saying like, "Well played, thanks, oops," at like inappropriate moments where basically they're being sarcastic. And honestly, if that's all you're allowed to say to me, that's great, because I don't want to hear the garbage that falls out of your mouth if you're going to be one of those nasty people. I intentionally try not to say nasty things because, quite honestly, there's no reason for it. This is a good game. You can be happy playing this game. You can have fun playing this game. And so, once again, they took the things that people didn't like out of the game by nerfing them appropriately, putting them the appropriate elixir cost. Royal Giant is a really, really hot topic right now because everybody's playing with him. But quite honestly, I don't think he's unreasonable for the amount of elixir that he costs is the biggest thing. He's a tanking unit, and he just gets to towers a little bit faster. Oh, that's not fair, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you've seen how I deal with him, and I don't use defensive units. Like, they get 200, 300, 400 damage off of your tower in a whack. It's pretty good. It also costs 6 elixir. I can get way more than that out of a 4 elixir character. Any of my 4 elixir characters can do more than that. It's more likely to happen with a Royal Giant. So the question is, can you support the Royal Giant that it's worth it? You know, for me, that's the big thing. He's worth the elixir. He's not overpowered for the elixir. There's nothing excessively cheap going on. His big toe has to get on your side of the field before you start the fight. And that's okay, because that makes it okay, quite honestly. Yeah, good job, Frozen. But anyway, I hope you guys like what I'm doing. I hope you guys like the game. Please do like, subscribe, leave comments. It makes my channel that much better for me personally, and that makes it so that I can basically bring it back and bring stuff for you. If you guys want to see me play a specific deck, leave that in comments. If you leave that in comments on one of the videos after it's done, and say, this is the deck I want you to play, I will at least play it for like half an hour on the next stream. I have not had anybody who actually left the stuff on there before. And same thing with if you want advice on information for your deck. Totally leave it in comments and I'll do it. I don't mind doing it live. It doesn't bother me at all. But if you basically aren't on when I'm on, just leave it in comments and I'll totally respond back to you. I'm not pretending I have like the biggest wealth of knowledge. There's plenty of cards I don't play, but I play them because they're plain. Lots of cards that are in this game are just numbers for me. And Barbarians are basically just a numbers game. And I don't like the numbers on the Barbarians. They're not interesting. They don't have characterization. And they don't come through unless they're over-leveled like other cards do. There's lots and lots of ways you can counter them. So that's, as I said, that's why I don't like them. They're really good for stopgapping just like Valkyrie's, but Valkyrie's significantly more interesting. And at least in my opinion, more reliable because she can't be spelled down easily. Anyway. So hopefully that helps for you guys. As I said, leave comments if you want specific things, and I will do my best to accommodate them. And I don't know. As I said, I'm still having fun playing this game. 26-19 right now that I'm stopping at. That's actually pretty solid. I didn't know when I was going to get above the halfway mark in Royal Arena when I started. Royal Arena because it seems so thick, but quite honestly, all it feels like is I need a couple more card upgrades, and I'm done. Like, I can probably push into Legendary, at least, like, the very bottom of it, even if I got knocked right back out, which would make me happy. So, I don't know. That's what's making me feel pretty good about this. There's nothing about, as I said, this deck cycle that irks me. There's things that I see a lot, like overleveled Barbarians and, Royal Giant. Who would have thought? They're a great combo. But it doesn't, as I said, it's different than my extreme dislike for Mortar because Mortar wasn't playing the game. It was playing some other subvertive game where you just sit back and basically play tower defense against somebody who's not playing a tower defense game. And that's infuriating. So I give full credit to Royal Giant not pissing me off. And I personally think, as I said, it's worth the elixir. When you counter a Royal Giant, it's not like he fights back. So it's entirely possible that your push ends right there. And that's great. That is a non-sustainable way for cards to basically die, and that's how they should be. But anyway, that's enough of my rant. As I said, like, subscribe if you like what I'm doing. This has been Aero for Mobile Games. We're still having fun playing this game. We have yet to find something that's going to come up and actually take away from that, but we'll see. It's getting a little bit more interesting on what's in mobile, and I'm more than willing to look at other things. It's just this game is so good. Anyway, it's enough Supercell love out of me. I will let you guys get on with your day. You have a nice day. Aero out.